Dear students of class 9A, welcome to my civics class. Today's lesson is salient features of the Constitution of India. Points as I mentioned: number 1, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So these are the points I am going to teach you. Right to equality. What is the meaning of right to equality? Now I am going to teach you. You know, right to equality means everyone in the eyes of law is equal in our country. Everyone means all the citizens of our country can be treated equally by the country on the question of their caste, creed, religion, customs, traditions, and cultural identities. No one can be treated unequally. Everyone will be treated equally. This is right to equality. And next one, another point, that is right to freedom. In our country, since there is a democratic form of government established throughout the country, each and every citizen has the right to enjoy his or her freedom. Freedom means liberty. A person can think independently, a person can talk independently, a person can criticize the works of the government, the person can criticize the works of other person, a person can be criticized by other one, and no one has any right, the government has no any right to punish the person, because it is matter of right to independence or right to freedom. That is right to freedom, and this is the most important part. Why? Because freedom of speech allows a citizen to speak and express his or her thoughts verbally or through the press, but it cannot be misused to slander or spread communal hatred. That is also a very important part. That's why government of India is providing education, voluntary system of education, and people, they come forward to receive education. Those who have not, those who do not have education, they are provided with educational facilities. Now, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms allowed. Yes, peaceful progress, peaceful propagation of views and ideas. These meetings should not cause civil unrest and create law and order problems. A person can, a group of person can assemble for conducting any religious meeting. The government has no right, or other people, or people belonging to other group, have no right to interfere their internal affairs. In that case, that matter is treated as freedom of right to freedom. Freedom to form association and unique helps to create a dialogue between the management. A group of people can form a group of people can form their opinions in consultation with each other for providing it for the all-round development of the country. They may suggest their opinions to the government in order to take necessary steps for their all-round development. And the president, the government cannot refuse their proposals. Generally, their proposals are accepted, their proposals are, viewed, whether any additional alteration is required for the all-round development of the country, whether there was any, drawback, whether there are drawbacks on the part of the government, whether the government is committing mistakes. Each and every part is thoroughly, analyzed, is thoroughly, reviewed by the government, but it is done by the association who generally formed as a part of their right to freedom. Freedom of movement allows citizens to move around any part of the country except for private buildings or estates. Movement may also be restricted to certain sensitive areas for safety and security. A person can make any type of movement for the cause of religious upliftment. Suppose a community is lagging behind in the field of religion, in the field of social upliftment, in the field of education. Everywhere there is, ineffectiveness. Everywhere there is an utter failure. In that case, that group may, you know, that group may lead. They lead that particular group in order to improve a lot, in order to make sure their security, in order to organize a religious movement, and in order to move here and there, in order to convey their message to that group of people belonging to the same category for their all-round development, they may draw the attention of the people belonging to the same category of different parts of India. For example, one minority group, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. A group of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are living in Madras, but their religious rights are being violated. In that case, they may form a group, and they may move here and there. They may move different cities of India and may draw the attention of the same, castes of different countries or of different cities of India. So that group of civil castes and civil tribes may come to Bombay, they may go to Calcutta, Kolkata, they may come to, Allahabad, they may go to, Ahmedabad, they may go to, go to Orissa. So everywhere that group may draw the attention of the same category people because they are in danger. They need social, religious, political, and cultural development because all their rights, especially right to religion, is being violated. That's why they may start movement against that system. So these are the part of the right to freedom. Freedom to settle and reside in any part of India allows the citizens to write and to buy property, reside and settle in any part of India. Any person may buy property of any parts of India. It is also the right to freedom. And next one, freedom to practice any profession or occupation. Freedom to practice any profession or any occupation allows citizens to choose and practice any profession. The trade, business, occupation or profession should not be anti-national and that it doesn't steal for exploitation of other people, particularly women and children. So, citizens are allowed to practice their occupations freely, their profession freely. They may choose their independent profession, independent practice, like trade, business, teaching. But there is no obstruction on the part of the government. There is no exploitation for them, particularly children and women. If they come forward to earn money as their occupation, in that case, they are helped by the government, they are helped by others. The right to freedom is probably the only fundamental rights which has a large number of statements. And next one, right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. What is this? There are certain rights against exploitation. Number one, an accused has the right to defend himself through a lawyer of his or her choice. Suppose one person is declared to be an accused. In that case, the accused can, in order to defend himself, the accused can take one lawyer, okay, or legal practitioner to prove that he is not guilty. And in that case, this right is considered as the right against exploitation. No citizen can be made to work as forced labor or bounded labor. Children under the age of 14 can't be employed in mines or factories and places that were dangerous and hazardous to their health, as per the Constitution of India. Children below the age of 14, they can't do it. If they practice it, the sectors, the companies, the factories who are linked with it, their owners are arrested by the government. Now, right to freedom of religion. Oh, already I have got it, the right to freedom of religion. And next one, cultural and educational rights. Okay, cultural and educational rights of the citizens. Each and every citizen has the right to take part in any cultural program. They may take part in any cultural program. They may join any amusement, any recreation. They may join recreative programs, cultural programs. They may participate, participate. Any type of programs which may convey the message throughout the country regarding the activities, regarding the positive skills of the people of such a country they are living. That's why this right, cultural and educational rights, is very important. Under Article number 29 to 30, this right to citizens are given the rights of cultural and educational. Under Article 30 states that institutions should, however, admit anybody who wants to learn, and the state shall not discriminate in granting state funds. A person may receive education from anywhere of the country, and no state government or no government, central government, may obstruct the way of receiving education. For example, one student came from Kolkata to receive education from Mumbai. In that case, the government of Mumbai, the state government of Mumbai cannot obstruct the way of cannot obstruct the way of his education. That means in that case, a student of Mumbai can go to study in Kolkata, and a student of Kolkata can come to study in Mumbai also. Now it is the right to cultural and educational. It is the cultural and educational rights of the citizens. These are the cultural and educational rights of the citizens of India under Article number 29 and 30. And last of all, right to constitutional remedies. What are the rights to constitutional remedies? This is the last article dealing with fundamental rights. It is probably the most important one because it ensures the citizens' right to seek legal help in any of the other rights are violated by the state. Whenever the fundamental rights are violated by the state, violated by other government, the Constitution has vested powers in the Supreme Court. to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens. The person can go to the Supreme Court because fundamental rights are justiciable to a court of law. So this can be done by the courts. A writ is issued by the court to state or a lower court or a person ordering that an action be taken or discontinued, as the case may be. Non-compliance is contempt of court and punishable. So these writs are habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. In order to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens, in order to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens, Supreme Court can issue a number of writs, namely habeas corpus, certiorari, and prohibition, mandamus, quo warranto. These are the important writs the Supreme Court generally issues in order to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens. But initially, the Supreme Court does not issue any writ for the protection of the fundamental rights of the citizens. Supreme Court, during his initial stage, can survey and take a report from the people concerned whether there is a case of violation of fundamental rights of citizens. If the report becomes positive, Supreme Court, in consultation with the judges of the Supreme Court, other judges of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, comes to a conclusion to issue writs. But the writs which I mentioned, habeas corpus, mandamus, quo warranto, prohibition, and certiorari. So these are different types of different types of these are different types of different types of writs, and the function of the writs, the functions of the writs vary from word to word, vary from person to person. Suppose one citizen's fundamental rights are violated, and that person has lodged a complaint and has gone to the Supreme Court for the protection of his or her fundamental rights. In that case, the Supreme Court would have a report about the crisis of that particular citizen whose fundamental rights already has been violated, already have been violated. So who violated the fundamental rights of the citizens? That is the matter. So as for the violation of fundamental rights, it is decided by the Supreme Court which type of writs can be issued by the court. Suppose the Supreme Court issued one writ, habeas corpus. So habeas corpus is a writ. What type of writ habeas corpus is? What sort of writ mandamus is? What sort of a writ certiorari is? what sort of a writ prohibition is, what sort of a writ, quaranta is. So each and every writ has a special function. Each and every writ has a special, special speciality, and as per their specialties, the read the reads are issued by the Supreme Court. Now, which read is applicable to a citizen who already has lost a complaint mentioning that his fundamental rights already have been violated by a state? So it is depending on the Supreme Court which read is relevant to the case, which way is required to solve the crisis or to safeguard the fundamental rights of that particular citizen. Up to this my just tools. Next day, I shall discuss on fundamental duties of the citizens. Up to this. Thank you.